Yeah. Thank you again for joining us on this auspicious day. Present day of Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur. It's not ordinary person. It's so when the devotee takes birth, everything about him becomes perfect. See? It's very auspicious. You see this word, bring it down to the screen.
नारद उवाच तज्जन्मतानि कर्माणि तदा युस्तन्मनोवचः नृणां येन हि विश्वात्मा सेव्यते हरिरीश्वरः. The great sage Narada said, when a living entity engages in the devotional service of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who is the Supreme Controller, his birth, all his fruitive activities, his lifespan, his mind, and his words are all factually perfect.
This point here. So Bhakti Siddhanta classically fits in this description. How everything about him is perfect. Right? Again, you know how he appeared and how before his appearance, his father Bhaktivinoda Thakur was praying for a son who could spread Krishna consciousness. So when he was born, he was not sure but this was the son. So when the mother brought him up the cart, Rath cart was going and they were staying apparently in Canada. Perhaps you must have gone to his place. How many of you have gone to visit his house? Only one person. I thought you brought the whole Dham Yatra there. They don't know what's going on. Don't know why you went there for. You never go. You went. Only you went. It all looks very blur. I'm asking a question. Nobody. Maybe they are intoxicated. Don't know where they are going. Too long a journey. So you see how it's very important that a pure person like that, when he comes, it is not just that he comes. It's that he is. His appearance is heralded by various auspicious activities. So one of these activities was when he was born, he had his umbilical cord, like a Brahmin. So before that, Bhaktivinoda Thakur never had this Brahmin track. There was no Brahmin track for the Vaishnavas. They don't do that. You understand? So after his appearance, then he initiated this program of giving initiation to the many things he introduced. Firstly, giving initiation also to women. It was not practice at all. Apart from that, many things he introduced. And actually, he set the foundation for Prabhupada to expand without all those major things, putting into the Sampradaya. It would not be possible for us to do what we are doing now. Okay? One of his major revolutions was not to stay under the tree in Vrindavan. Otherwise, all of us have to go there and find one tree every other day. Not practical. So how he introduced, what is that verse? Everything that can be used in Krishna consciousness.
अनासक्तस्य विषयान् अनासक्तस्य विषयान् यथा अनासक्तस्य विषयान् यथार्हम् उपयुञ्जतः निर्बन्धः कृष्ण संबन्धे युक्तं वैराग्यमुच्यते. प्रापञ्चिकतया बुद्ध्या हरिसम्बन्धिवस्तुनः मुमुक्षुभिः परित्यागो वैराग्यं फल्गु कथ्यते. When one is not attached to anything but at the same time accepts everything in relation to Krishna, one is rightly situated above possessiveness. On the other hand, one who rejects everything without knowledge of his relationship to Krishna is not as complete in his renunciation.
So you see, these two words are very important. Whatever can be used in Krishna consciousness, but if you reject that, then your renunciation is not perfect. And you can see most of these sannyasis and everyone, there's a stricture, you don't cross the ocean. If you don't cross the ocean, then how are you going to preach? And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu ordered, what he ordered? Prithvi within Bharat Bhumi, sorry, 941. Adi. Yeah.
भारत भूमिते होइलो मनुष्य जन्मजार जन्म सार्थक करी करो परोपकार. One who has taken his birth as a human being in the land of India, Bharatvarsha, should make his life successful and work for the benefit of all other people. एतावज्जन्म साफल्यं देहिनामिह देहिषु प्राणैरर्थैर्धिया वाचा श्रेय आचरणं सदा. It is the duty of every living being to perform welfare activities for the benefit of others with his life, wealth, intelligence, and words. प्राणिनामुपकाराय यदेवेह परत्र च कर्मणा मनसा वाचा तदेव मतिमान् भजेत्. By his work, thoughts, and words, an intelligent man must perform actions which will be beneficial for all living entities in this life and the next.
So you see how these three verses, to carry this out, you have to revolutionize your what? Thinking. Correct? In fact, he already changed all that. He wrote in cars. He wrote code, sannyasi wearing what? Code. You understand? Many things, printing press. Before him, there's nobody used problem. Okay? So he was a visionary. He wanted to spread Krishna consciousness for all the conditioned souls. Okay? And the Western world was actually, they were in control. The media, the lifestyle, the everything. Practically, after the British conquest of India, Indians were made to think that whatever they are doing is opportunity, primitive. You know, their whole language, culture, everything is one. And they put ashes, they mock their ball, you know. So they had to destroy the Vedic culture in order to promote the one river Thames as the most holiest place, the 30th river in the three world. You see, I told them, I saw, not that I'm just saying, I saw the river Thames. So you see how we have to revolutionize this whole. I think there's a verse on that. 1:5 start Visargo. 1:5 what? You know, this very thing has been brought to revolutionize the thinking. You know, Janata Viplavo, this word. I don't know, I have time, you know, I'm doing the 4 o'clock. Usually like to stop by 2. And just go to the translating.
On the other hand, that literature which is full of descriptions of the transcendental glories of the name, fame, forms, pastimes, etc. of the unlimited Supreme Lord is a different creation full of transcendental words directed toward bringing about a revolution in the impious lives of this world's misdirected civilization.
To bring about revolution in the impious life of this world, misdirected civilization. So in order to do this, they say to catch a thief, if he's running in a very fast car, you can't go after him in a bullet car. You also have to have a faster car than him. See? So he has to adapt to all the modern gadgets and equipment, whatever, to put Krishna consciousness, the world misdirected civilization. And that he was pioneer in this thing, revolutionized. And because he did that, we could all take up Krishna consciousness. Practically most of people who take up Krishna consciousness always do so outside India. Is it not? Huh? When you inside India, you take it for granted. I will see him every day, and then whole life never see him. See, that's how it is. So therefore, he had this forward thinking. Now you read the first verse. Everything about him become perfect. His birth, his activity, his karma, everything. So they are therefore called acharyas. They are called what? Acharyas. The purpose is to deliver us. That's their whole objective. Get to deliver the conditioned soul. So because of the effort, you can see how Bhakti Siddhanta started. He expanded and finally Prabhupada put the nail in the coffin. How the whole thing, so that we can take on this process and save ourselves. See? Otherwise, it's very, very difficult. I think you go 431:10. You see, this is what will happen. Can you see this one?
किं जन्मभिस्त्रिभिर्वेह शौक्र सावित्र याज्ञिकैः कर्मभिर्वात्रैः प्रोक्तैः पुंसोऽपि विबुधायुषा. A civilized human being has three kinds of births. The first birth is by a pure father and mother, and this birth is called birth by semen. The next birth takes place when one is initiated by the spiritual master, and this birth is called Savitra. The third birth, called Yajnika, takes place when one is given the opportunity to worship Lord Vishnu. Despite the opportunities for attaining such births, even if one gets the lifespan of a demigod, if one does not actually engage in the service of the Lord, everything is useless. Similarly, one's activities may be mundane or spiritual, but they are useless if they are not meant for satisfying the Lord.
This is exactly what's going on. Understand? So much into the roots of the ritual. The way you say niyama. Right? Yama and niyama. The ritual. They into the so much, but they forget the both. They're all useless if they are not meant for satisfying the Lord. This is what's going on. People are into the whole process, ringing the bell and breaking coconuts and doing all these things, but they forget the real thing. Yes or not? How is so relevant? So therefore, he came to reorganize all these things, to bring their life, bring about a revolution to make human lives worth it. Because this human life is very, very rare. There's so many lifetimes. Like I was telling yesterday, you go to your toilet, you will see some cockroach. I'm sure maybe your toilet doesn't have a cockroach. No, you don't have a cockroach in your toilet. Do you have it? And you look at that, that's also a living entity, is it not? When is he going to come to Krishna consciousness? Well, take a human birth first, right? It's not going to be painful. See, but this is why acharyas like them, they are so magnanimous. It's now we read the other two verses after Bharat. So, prime duty of human life is to do good for others. That's why Chaitanya Mahaprabhu ordered whoever is born in India, duty is to preach Krishna. You cannot say, no, it's not my job. Of course, if you can be a preacher, that was nice. But if you cannot, you can support the preaching. So many things, like here, cooking so many preparations, or someone speaking, or someone hearing. Even hearing is also very important. 13, 26 together. See, it's not that because you cannot speak, therefore you cannot make it. No. Even if you just come to hear.
अन्येत्वेवमजानन्तः श्रुत्वान्येभ्य उपासते तेऽपि चातिक्तन्त्येव मृत्युं श्रुतिपरायणाः.
Mrityum Shruti Parayanaha. To escape the death, the process for Shruti Parayana, hearing about the Lord.
Again, there are those who, although not conversant in spiritual knowledge, begin to worship the Supreme Person upon hearing about Him from others. Because of their tendency to hear from authorities, they also transcend the path of birth and death.
See, sitting down to hear, hearing only about Krishna, not hearing any other thing. So human beings have so many other things. Shrotra, Virimi, Rajendra, millions of subjects, just like the phone. Every minute, one thing. Your mind is completely what? See how telling you guys progress. How to make you forget the Lord completely. Is it not? It's TikTok. Everybody got the same phone. You see?
श्रोतव्यादीनि राजेन्द्र नृणां सन्ति सहस्रशः अपश्यतामात्मतत्त्वं गृहेषु गृहमेधिनाम्. Those persons who are materially engrossed, being blind to the knowledge of ultimate truth, have many subject matters for hearing in human society, O Emperor.
Many subjects. Every day, so many things. So busy. And all that is to forget Krishna. It's entertaining, they say. And today he said, what's he saying? 1:26. What's he saying? You see what's he saying?
जन्मैश्वर्य श्रुतश्री
Apunarbhavam. Yeah, Apunarbhavam.
विपदः सन्तु ताः शश्वत् तत्र तत्र जगद्गुरो भवतो दर्शनं यत्स्याद् अपुनर्भव दर्शनम्. I wish that all those calamities would happen again and again so that we could see you again and again. For seeing you means that we will no longer see repeated births and deaths.
See that seeing Krishna means no more seeing repeated birth. That's why you're coming here, temple, seeing the Lord. It's so important. It is. Of course, maybe in your house you also have. But the idea is to always see, as I say, let the trouble come back again. Because when trouble is there, you're always there with us. But now everything is said and you leave it. I don't want that. Because not seeing you means I will be again stuck in the cycle of the time. So this is the whole idea. Somehow or other, you become Krishna. And Bhakti Siddhanta's effort is so much valuable to make this happening for us. So you see how important his birth is. So in our Vaishnava culture, it is very important to glorify the Acharya. No other sampradaya does this thing. All the Vaishnava sampradaya does that. They do their Guru Puja once in a year. Correct? Yeah. You see how they minimize very great personality. They don't have any. Who is their great personality? Hiranyakasipu. Who? Hiranyaksha. Who? Actually, there's a verse. You know, that verse you showed in CC, I think in 185. You see, the people who are demons, they have their acharyas. You know? You see? You see how the acharyas, everyone has got one Mahajana. Mahajana is 12 Mahajanas, right? So you see all these people, this is the time to give the full commentary on this passage. Can you go to the context?
All this. A sadhu or honest man is called Mahajan or Mahatma. The Mahatma is described thus by Lord Krishna in the Bhagavad Gita. Mahatmanas tumam partha daivim prakritim ashritah Bhajan Jananya Manaso Jnatva Bhutadim Avyayam. O son of Pritha, those who are not deluded, the great souls, are under the protection of the divine nature. They are fully engaged in devotional service because they know me as the Supreme Personality of Godhead, original and inexhaustible. In the material world, the word Mahatma is understood in different ways by different religionists. Mundaners also come up with their different angles of vision. For the conditioned soul busy in sense gratification, a Mahajan is recognized according to the proportion of sense gratification he offers. For instance, a businessman may consider a certain banker to be a Mahajan, and karmis desiring material enjoyment may consider philosophers like Jaimini to be Mahajans. There are many yogis who want to control the senses, and for them, Patanjali Rishi is a Mahajan. For the Jnanis, the atheists Kapila, Vasishtha, Durvasa, Dattatreya, and other impersonalist philosophers are Mahajanas. For the demons, Hiranyaksha, Hiranyakashipu, Ravana, Ravana's son Meghanada, Jarasandha, and others are accepted as Mahajanas. For materialistic anthropologists speculating on the evolution of the body, a person like Darwin is a Mahajan. The scientists who are bewildered by Krishna's external energy have no relationship with the Supreme Personality of Godhead, yet they are accepted by some as Mahajans. Similarly, philosophers, historians, literary men, public speakers, and social and political leaders are sometimes accepted as Mahajanas. Such Mahajans are respected by certain men who have been described in the Srimad Bhagavatam 2.3.19. Swavid Varahoshtakharai Samsuta Purusha Pashuhu Nayat Karna Pathopeto Jatunama Gadagrajaha. Men who are like dogs, hogs, camels, and asses praise those men who never listen to the transcendental pastimes of Lord Sri Krishna, the deliverer from evils. Thus, on the material platform, animalistic leaders are worshipped by animals. Sometimes physicians, psychiatrists, and social workers try to mitigate bodily pain, distress, and fear, but they have no knowledge of spiritual identity and are bereft of a relationship with God. Yet they are considered Mahajans by the illusion. Self-deceived persons sometimes accept leaders or spiritual masters from a priestly order that have been officially appointed by the codes of material life. In this way, they are deceived by official priests. Sometimes people accept as Mahajans those who have been designated by Srila Vrindavan Das Thakur as Dhangavipras, imposter Brahmanas. Such imposters imitate the characteristics of Srila Haridas Thakur and they envy Haridas Thakur, who was certainly a Mahajan. They make great artificial endeavors, advertising themselves as great devotees of the Lord or as mystic hypnotists, knowledgeable in witchcraft, hypnotism, and miracles. Sometimes people accept as Mahajans demons like Putana, Trinavarta, Vatsa, Baka, Aghasura, Dhenuka, Kaliya, and Pralamba. Some people accept imitators and adversaries of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, such as Paundraka, Shrigala Vasudev, the spiritual master of the demon Sukracharya, or atheists like Charvaka, King Vena, Sugata, and Arhat. People who accept such imitators as Mahajans have no faith in Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu as the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Rather, they accept godless cheaters who present themselves as incarnations of God and cheat foolish people within the material world by word jugglery. Thus, many rascals are accepted as Mahajans. It is those who are devoid of devotional service who sometimes mistakenly accept persons with mundane motives as Mahajans. The only motive must be Krishna Bhakti, devotional service to the Lord. Sometimes fruitive workers, dry speculators, non-devotees, mystic yogis, and persons attached to material opulence, women, and money are considered Mahajans. But Srimad Bhagavatam 6.3.25 gives the following statement about such unauthorized Mahajans. Prayena Veda Tadidam Namahajanoyam Devya Vimohitamatir Batamayayalam Trayam Jadi Kritamatir Madhupushpitayam Vaitanike Mahati Karmani Yujyamana. In this material world, karmis, fruitive actors, are accepted as Mahajans by foolish people who do not know the value of devotional service. The mundane intelligence and mental speculative methods of such foolish people are under the control of the three modes of material nature. Consequently, they cannot understand unalloyed devotional service. They are attracted by material activities and they become worshippers of material nature. Thus, they are known as fruitive actors. They even become entangled in material activities disguised as spiritual activities. In the Bhagavad Gita, such people are described as Vedavadarata, supposed followers of the Vedas. They do not understand the real purpose of the Vedas, yet they think of themselves as Vedic authorities. People versed in Vedic knowledge must know Krishna as the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Vedasya Sarvair Ahameva Vedya. In this material world, a person may be famous as a Karmavira, a successful fruitive worker, or he may be successful in performing religious duties, Dharmavira, or he may be known as a hero in mental speculation, Jnanavira, or he may be a very famous renunciant. In any case, Srimad Bhagavatam gives the following opinion on this matter. So, go ahead.
So you see, you can see so many kind of Mahatyans are there. In the Bhagavad Gita, 1832, I think. Purport. See what it says here.
अधर्मं धर्ममिति या मन्यते तमसा वृता सर्वार्थान् विपरीतांश्च बुद्धिः सा पार्थ तामसी. That understanding which considers irreligion to be religion and religion to be irreligion under the spell of illusion and darkness and strives always in the wrong direction is in the mode of ignorance. Purport. Intelligence in the mode of ignorance is always working the opposite of the way it should. It accepts religions which are not actually religions and rejects actual religion. Men in ignorance understand a great soul to be a common man and accept a common man as a great soul. They think truth to be untruth and accept untruth as truth. In all activities, they simply take the wrong path. Therefore, their intelligence is in the mode of ignorance.
So therefore, they accept a great man as an ordinary person and accept an ordinary person as a... So therefore, to distinguish this, Acharyas like Bhakti Siddhanta, they appear. In fact, he was noted to be a what? A Sima Guru. You know, everyone who goes, he challenges, he simply, runs away. And that is his, what we say, power. Lion, one man say, okay, I want to talk to you, debate with you, but you cannot use this book. Then he say, okay. Then he come back and say, you cannot use that book. Then he goes, he didn't turn up. Because he's so frightened. I think there's an incident of one person who wanted to kind of talk to him, but in the process he was passing stool and urine. That's an incident, right?
It's an astrological debate. It was an astrological debate where he defeated the disciple because this man actually was very old, the main guru. So his disciple came to argue with Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur, but he defeated him, and the guru passed urine and stool there itself.
Just see how he is power. So therefore, we should definitely honor him today. For no time actually we can look, that the qualities of the Vaishnava is unending. Yes. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, when he was taking the body of Haridas Thakur and speaking, it was going on and on and on until Swarup Damodar took the rights for him. Time is passing and he stopped. So to glorify Vaishnava is like millions of mouths because of their activities are very constant. So of course we are running short of time. Maybe if you want to know more, you can always, I think he's been reading a lot of Bhakti Siddhanta. Then you can chat with him on his,
Still
more. I am not, I know very few things. Nevertheless, I think this is enough to explain his transcendental qualities. So with this, I'd like to stop here. Anybody have anything to add? Yeah, no time actually. Huh? So, Jai, Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur ki Jai. Oh, I think it's okay.